There's never a quiet day around Ibrox, and once again, all eyes are firmly on Nico Raskin. The Belgian midfielder has managed to land himself right back in the spotlight, not for the first time this season, and this latest twist has only added more fuel to an already intense campaign for Rangers. Raskin's situation has sparked heated debates among fans and raised even more questions about how this team moves forward under Russell Martin, especially with such a rocky start to the season still fresh in everyone's memory. Let's rewind a bit. The last time Rangers took to the pitch, it was that frustrating goalless draw against Celtic at home on the 31st of August, a match that lacked real quality and left the support feeling like 2 points had been dropped rather than one gained. But more importantly, there was a glaring absence from the squad sheet. Raskin was nowhere to be found. That alone was enough to raise eyebrows, but it didn't stop there. At the same time, Hamza Amin had just departed after weeks of speculation, and Cyril Dessers, another key figure in the summer squad overhaul, was already on his way out, reportedly bound for Greece. It's fair to say that the early stages of the season haven't exactly been smooth sailing. Russell Martin, who stepped into one of the most demanding jobs in British football, has found himself navigating storm after storm, both on and off the pitch. And now, just as the international break has provided a rare pause, things seem to be shifting again. Former club captain Barry Ferguson has weighed in on the situation, suggesting that with the transfer window finally shut and all the noise surrounding player movement put to bed, Martin can now properly focus on the job at hand. The message is clear. No more excuses, no more distractions. It's time to get results. And he's right. There's no way to sugarcoat how underwhelming Rangers have been so far. For league games, for draws, and already 6 points off the pace behind Celtic. That kind of start is enough to put pressure on any manager, never mind one who's still settling into the role. But while the opening fixtures have been frustrating, there's also been an understanding among the support that this is a team in transition. New faces, new system, and plenty of moving parts that were always going to take time to click. The problem is, time isn't something you get a lot of at a club like Rangers. Which brings us back to Raskin. Before the international break, manager Russell Martin openly admitted that he had left the midfielder out of the Champions League qualifier against Victoria Plzen because he didn't believe Raskin's head was fully in it. With transfer rumors swirling and interest from abroad mounting, the concern was that the 24-year-old wasn't fully focused on Rangers. And for a team trying to rebuild identity and discipline, that kind of uncertainty is a risk no manager wants to take. But while he was absent from Ibrox, Raskin was making headlines elsewhere. On international duty with Belgium, he reminded everyone exactly what he's capable of, scoring in a dominant 6-0 win over Kazakhstan in a World Cup qualifier. It wasn't just a goal, it was a statement. Sharp, composed, and fully engaged, he looked every bit the midfield engine that Rangers have been lacking in recent weeks. It was a performance that didn't just show his quality, it highlighted exactly what Rangers have been missing in his absence. Now, according to fresh reports, Raskin is back in training at Ochenhowie and has held what are being described as crucial talks with Russell Martin. Whatever was said behind closed doors seems to have been enough to reintegrate him into the squad, at least for now. But let's be clear, this doesn't mean he's walking straight back into the starting 11. It's more likely that Martin will ease him back in, maybe even starting him on the bench against Hearts this weekend. The important thing is that the door is open again, and for a manager under pressure, having a player of Raskin's caliber back in contention could be vital. There's no overstating the importance of the upcoming fixtures. After hosting Hearts, Rangers face Hibernian in the Premier Sports Cup quarterfinals, followed closely by the return of European football to Ibrox when Genk arrived to kick off the Europa League campaign. That's a brutal run of games in quick succession, and with confidence fragile and form inconsistent, this stretch could go a long way in defining the mood around the club heading into the autumn. For Martin, the return of Raskin isn't just a boost, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to restore some creativity and control to a midfield that has often looked toothless. An opportunity to bring back some drive and urgency to a team that has spent too many minutes this season chasing shadows. And, perhaps most importantly, an opportunity to get a key player back on side at a time when unity is desperately needed. But let's not pretend this is just about one player. Raskin's return comes at a moment when the spotlight has also turned to young Theo Isgaard, whose recent performance with Norway lit up social media and sparked a wave of optimism among the Rangers' support. For goals in a single match against Moldova, and even more impressively, a moment of pure class from Erling Haaland, who handed Asgard the ball for a late penalty despite being on a hat-trick of his own. It's a gesture that speaks volumes about Haaland's character, but it also tells us something important about Asgard. He's earning the respect of his peers on the international stage, and he's doing it with confidence and composure well beyond his years. That kind of moment, scoring 4 goals for your country with your family watching on, can be transformative for a young player. And for Rangers, it's come at the perfect time. Asgard's confidence will be sky high, and if Martin can tap into that energy, he might just have another weapon in his arsenal heading into this crucial run of games. Rangers need players who believe, who are brave on the ball, and who can step up in the big moments. Asgard looks like he could be one of them. So here we are. The international break is over, the noise of the transfer market has faded, and Rangers are staring down the barrel of a season that could still go either way. There's a chance to reset, to push forward, and to start building some momentum. But there's also very little room for error. With every draw, every missed opportunity, the pressure grows. The fans aren't just hoping for progress, they're demanding it. And after a summer of change, that demand is only going to get louder. Nico Raskin's return might just be the spark this team needs. Or maybe it's Asgard who'll grab the spotlight next. Either way, one thing's clear. The next few weeks are going to tell us a lot about Russell Martin, about this new-look Rangers side, and about whether this season can still be salvaged. And if Saturday's clash with Hearts feels like a reset button, it's because it absolutely needs to be. Rangers can no longer lean on the excuse of transition. The summer window is closed, the squad is set, and the manager has had 2 weeks during the international break to drill his ideas, clear his head, and finally begin shaping this team into something coherent. But this isn't just about tactics or fitness anymore. This is about character. This is about who wants it more when they cross that white line at Ibrox, because the support has made it crystal clear. Patience is wearing thin. Russell Martin might still be early into his tenure, but the demands of managing Rangers don't offer anyone the luxury of time. You're expected to win, and you're expected to win now. And when the results aren't there, every decision you make, from team selection to substitutions to your post-match interviews, gets placed under a microscope. That's the reality, and Martin knows it. He even said himself that he was desperate for the transfer window to shut, just to get away from all the noise. The speculation around departures, like Dessers and Hamza Aman, created an air of uncertainty that infected everything, from training ground focus to matchday performance. But that's in the past now. The noise has stopped. The question is whether the football can finally start speaking for itself. Bringing Raskin back into the fold is a massive step in the right direction, but there's still the challenge of restoring trust, not just between player and manager, but with the supporters. It's not just about being available to play. It's about showing the desire to fight for the badge again. Rangers don't have time for passengers. Every man on the pitch has to pull in the same direction, and that's exactly why this period feels so decisive. A strong performance against Hearts doesn't just bring 3 points. It sends a message that the team is alive and ready to challenge. Anything less than that, and the questions come flooding back. The same applies to Asgard, who's become something of a beacon of hope after his heroics with Norway. There's always a danger when young players burst onto the international scene. Fans start expecting instant miracles back at club level. But Asgard has already shown enough maturity to suggest he's not just a flash in the pan. His movement off the ball, his sharpness in front of goal, and that willingness to take responsibility, it's everything you want from a modern forward. And after 4 goals in one night, backed by Haaland's classy support, you can bet the lad is walking back into Rangers camp full of belief. That belief is contagious. It spreads in training. It shows up in matches. And it might just be what ignites this team. With the league table already showing daylight between Rangers and Celtic, there's zero room for slip-ups. 6 points might not sound like a disaster in September, but it's a mountain if you're still searching for your first win. That's why this weekend is so critical. Hearts are no easy opponent. Never have been, and they'll fancy their chances of causing an upset at Ibrox if they sense any fragility. The home support, too, will be on edge. It won't take long for frustration to turn into restlessness if the team doesn't come flying out the blocks. And it's not just about the Premiership anymore. Just days after Hearts, there's that massive quarterfinal against Hibs in the Premier Sports Cup. That competition may not carry the same prestige as a league title or a European run, but make no mistake, it matters. Trophies breed belief, and this Rangers squad desperately needs both. A win over Hibs not only keeps the chance of silverware alive, it also buys the manager time. It lifts the dressing room, and it shows that something tangible is being built. Lose that, and it's a fresh wave of pressure heading into what might be the most demanding stretch of the season. Because after that, it's jank. European nights at Ibrox are supposed to be magical, intimidating for the visitors, electric for the fans. But they can also be brutal if things go wrong. Jank are no mugs. They'll come to Glasgow with real ambition, knowing Rangers have been vulnerable, knowing the pressure is mounting. For Russell Martin, that night could either be a turning point or a breaking point. If Rangers are flat, if the energy is off, if the fans sense resignation rather than resolve, the atmosphere could turn very quickly. But if the team shows fight, if players like Raskin and Østgaard step up under the lights, that night could become the kind of launchpad this season so desperately needs. All of this circles back to one thing: leadership. The players will be key, but it's Martin who must lead. It's on him to make the big calls, to cut through the noise, and to set the tone for what this club is trying to become under his stewardship. The time for feeling things out is past. Now it's about decisions. Who plays in midfield? Who leads the line? How do you manage the returning internationals? How do you handle someone like Raskin, who's clearly talented but needs managing properly to get the best out of him? These are not easy questions, but that's what comes with the job at Rangers. You either rise to it or get consumed by it. It's easy to look at the table and start to panic, but the reality is there's still time to right the ship. The season is far from lost, but it's also far from secured. Every point, every goal, every performance from here on out will shape how this team is remembered. This isn't just about making up ground on Celtic. It's about reclaiming identity, pride, and belief. It's about proving that this group of players, led by a new manager, can carry the weight of expectation that comes with wearing that shirt. And if that belief is going to take hold, it has to start now. Hearts at home, Hibs in the Cup, jank in Europe. That's the path ahead, and it's unforgiving. But it's also full of opportunity. For Nico Raskin, it's a chance to show his heart is still in Glasgow. For Theo Østgaard, it's a chance to ride the wave of momentum and become a real force at club level. And for Russell Martin, it's a chance to finally turn potential into progress. Because if they don't take this chance, if the same old issues resurface, if the performances don't improve, then it won't be long before the pressure becomes unbearable. Ibrox demands standards. And now, more than ever, Rangers need to meet them. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Could Jose Mourinho be on his way to Ibrox? That's the whisper making its way around the pubs, the training grounds, and the terraces this week. The Rangers, freshly eyeing a new chapter in their quest to restore dominance both at home and in Europe, are said to have glanced toward one of the most decorated managers in modern football. The special one himself, Jose Mourinho, is the name being murmured, though for now it remains firmly in the realm of speculation rather than certainty. Still, it's a rumor too tantalizing to ignore. What lends it extra weight is the surprising voice of MCCOIST, Rangers legend and eternal fan favorite, who has openly admitted he'd welcome Mourinho to Govan. McCoist, never one to shy from giving his 2 pence on the state of the club, praised Mourinho's tactical nous and larger-than-life personality, suggesting he could give Rangers the steel and swagger to compete on the European stage once more. If McCoist says the Portuguese might fit, then plenty of supporters will surely prick up their ears. Yet as thrilling as it sounds, reality bites. Mourinho's salary demands are known to be among the highest in the game, even after parting ways with Roma earlier this year. The Rangers, while stable and ambitious, simply don't swim in the same financial waters as England's elite or the continental giants. It's here where the fantasy might crash into the hard brick wall of budgets and balance sheets. Would the Ibrox board truly be able to bankroll not only his wages, but also the inevitable requests for marquee signings to match his ambitions? And yet, football thrives on dreams and daring. Glasgow is no stranger to big personalities, and Mourinho's arrival would ignite a frenzy unseen in Scottish football for decades. Imagine him in the dugout at Celtic Park on Derby Day, or masterminding a European night under the floodlights at Ibrox. For now, it's smoke rather than fire, chatter rather than contracts. But with ally MCCOIST stoking the flames, don't be shocked if the whispers linger. After all, stranger things have happened in football, and in Scotland, rumors often carry their own peculiar power. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.